This is the Raise the Carter podcast, and I'm your host, Ramon Weatherall. Along with my partner, Vernon Starks, we're talking about the role of a step parent. I got my man on here a lot, and I want you to kind of like reintroduce yourself and like tell the people what you do for a living, because I like to, people, I want people to know that I just don't have somebody on here. My man really, really knows what he's doing and helps and works with kids. So just let people know what you do and who you are.
Okay, well, first and foremost, my name is Vernon Starks, um, and I currently manage behavioral health group homes for adults now. I used to work with kids for a very long time. Now I done transferred it to adults, and these adults have a lot of them have like serious mental illnesses, ADHD. They have a lot of different issues going on. So I manage several of the group homes that they actually live in. So my role as a manager is I just set up all of their doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, medical appointments, and things of that nature. And then my staff actually carries them out. So I'm not necessarily a caretaker. I manage people that are caretakers for um, the behavioral health mentally challenged community.
Exactly. Good. Exactly. Because but you do work with people and you help people. And like you said, you've in years past you've worked with children. So
Yes.
you definitely know what you're talking about when we're talking about parenting children. And I mean, a lot of the people, the adults now, could have had issues with their parents when they were growing up. It's not something that you can just grow up and get over. But the role of step parents. What is your role as a step parent? What is your role? But before I get into that, is a video that went viral. People need to watch this video and see just how important the choices that we make before we get back out there and say we want to start another relationships and you got children and all that. Just see how important how that is.
Multiple children is still capable. I'm 33. I'm a mom of 7, and I'm 33.
Okay.
With being a mom of 7, do you think that a woman of multiple children is still capable of finding someone?
First, let me ask you before I make the statement. Do the kids have the same father?
Yes, they do.
Okay, well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. We're talking about 7 children, okay? This is no offense to you because it's absolutely possible for you to find a quality man. What makes it a tad bit difficult is that you have to find a man who has the financial footing to take care of you and 7 children. And then you also have to be able to find a man who is going to be willing to come in and create structure in that household. 7 children on one person is a lot to create structure in. So there's a lot that this man is going to have to come in and do. On top of that, creating a secure space for you when you have to be a mother and you have to take care of the majority of the things that happen in a house. Are you going to have the ability to be able to love this man in a way that he needs to be loved, in a way that registers as love to him when you have to love 7 other individuals? You're going to need a man who can love those children as his own.
Yep.
That is a huge responsibility to put on a person who does not have those children. Those are not his kids.
That's deep. And the reason brought that up is because, like I said, she got 7 children. Now she's a nice looking woman. I don't doubt that she can find somebody, but finding somebody that's willing to be a step parent to 7 children is asking an awful lot. And I cut it off before the woman told her, "You probably just need to get back with they father." And she was like, "Oh no, I ain't doing that." But that's what we need. That's what before you say you want to get back out there, you probably people we need to think about all this stuff before you have before you have 7 children, you might need to think about, is this the person I'm gonna be with forever? You know, try to make it work, because getting back out there and asking someone to be a step parent, this male or female, you asking a lot. And to be honest, 7 children, I mean, I told this to my wife. A couple of those kids ain't gonna want you to be with nobody. That's the honest to God truth. What do you think about that? What do you think about that?
That was a very deep conversation, but the young lady that was speaking to her said a really important thing. She's going to have to find someone that's willing to come in and create a stable culture for her and those kids. That's going to be the difficult task.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of children to come in to try to deal with for a woman, especially if you don't have any kids. That's going to be very difficult for her. But like the young lady said, it's very possible. It's just going to be a task.
It's gonna be a serious task. And my point of view is, we you gotta start thinking, we gotta start thinking about life, not just about having fun and living in the moment. You got to think about your future. So this podcast isn't only for people who have children. This is for young men who thinking about having children. If you got 6 or 7 kids yourself, your quality of woman is going, because a lot of women are just going to be like, but that's just too much. We got to start thinking about that. Once you decided to be a step parent, what is your role? What, and the first thing I think, as being a step parent, you have to define your role. Y'all gotta talk, y'all gotta sit down and, please, I'm gonna admit I didn't do it, but I'm just giving you some advice, some OG advice. Y'all need to sit down and talk about your role as a step parent with the child or children and the mother of the children. What's your role? But your role is not to replace anybody.
That's very true.
Don't get it twisted. You ain't here to replace nobody, dog. Because you gonna be out the door real quick with that one. You gonna get your little feelings hurt real quick trying to replace somebody. You're just, what's your role? What do you think about what do you think about that number one point?
And that's very important. That try not to take the other parent's place, because you're not there to replace his dad. You're just there to be somebody that he can talk to, be a safe space, to get away from whatever you need to talk about or whatever. If the dad is in the picture, because a lot of the times the dad is still present, but the mom and her dad are just not together. So the child still has, access to his biological father. Try to maintain some type of relationship so that the child is um, free enough to open up to you as, the stepfather or the mom's boyfriend.
Have that conversation, but you got to check yourself. Somebody gave me some good advice. They told me, they was just like, all you can do is be fair. It's just about respect. It's about respect. Treat them with respect, treat them fairly, treat them, decently, and hopefully, it goes both ways. It's about building a relationship. That goes both ways. Bringing in the woman you want to be with, and she's trying to be a stepmom. You can't just allow that child to be like that. It's not gonna work. If you just allow the child to just be like, I don't gotta like them, you can just predict and depend on being alone. Because ain't nobody gonna put up with that. Ain't nobody gonna, if that person is legitimately trying and your child isn't and has no intention on trying, how long do you think that person is gonna stick around? So, what you think about that, V?
Yeah, that also holds true. My next point. You gotta let the stepchild take the lead. Like you can't go in there forcing no relationship. Sit back and chill, observe the child, get to know the child's mannerisms, his or her do's and don'ts or what have you, and just let that child take the lead. When that child is ready to open up to you about certain things and situations or whatnot, then that's when it'll happen. Making the child like you or whatnot. When you got to sit back and just let the child take the lead.
You can't make that'll
Right.
never work. That'll never work. Trying to make anybody like you really is not gonna work.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got to try to build a relationship. Number three, disciplinary boundaries. When it comes to discipline, are you even in the equation? Do you have any say so? Or when it comes to discipline, is it now her child? You can be a little friend over here, live in the house, but something go wrong, you go sit down. You don't got this my child. You don't got nothing to do with it. If that's the case, that's not gonna work either. No one's saying you need to be trying to take the lead in your disciplinary tactics or how you think discipline should be done should be the way. But if you don't have anything to say, if she don't, that person, the mother, the biological mother or father, don't let you have any input, that can't work either. That's not gonna work either. You have to, as being an adult, you chose to be with this person, so they need it needs to be some type of respect if things aren't being done rightly or done correctly, or if disciplinary actions need to be taken. They need to have a voice. What you think about that, V?
That's a tough one. When my daughter had a stepfather, like I had a problem with him showing any type of disciplinary form towards her. I think that, I mean, especially when it comes to, of course, not whooping or whatever, but like if you're actually getting to the point where you need to scold someone else's child, or I mean telling them right from wrong and asking them to do stuff around the house, I don't think that um falls under the umbrella of actual discipline. He come home, now you trying to punish him. I'm not so sure that would be a stepfather's role, especially not a new stepfather. Now, someone that has been there, over some time, I can see that. But someone new within the first 6 months to a year, 2 years, that may be a very awkward position for that person to even want to take on. You know what I mean?
Someone new shouldn't even be trying to do that. You know what I mean? Someone new with any common sense, you
Mm.
you shouldn't be trying to be disciplining nobody else's kids. You know what I mean? Because you wouldn't want somebody doing that to yours. And I I understand, especially with daughters, that fathers probably be like, when I say disciplinary boundaries, I mean, like you said, telling them right from wrong. Telling, if you can't tell this child nothing, then you don't need to be there. And I gotta put my pride aside. You know, if I was to get divorced, my wife was to be with somebody, and she was with somebody else, and this person couldn't tell my kids nothing, you know what I mean? That's you tripping now. You tripping now. You doing too much, because this kid could be doing something that could hurt themselves or hurt somebody else. And if the adult around can't tell them nothing, then hell, why you send them to school? They mess up in school or do something. Now you trying to come over and take the the disciplinary, major role. A step parent to me is way back in line. If the mother, the biological mother's there, the father's there, they come first. And hell, even grandparents come before you as a step parent. You got to you back in line. That's not your role. Get yourself
Mm.
in trouble doing that. I mean, me being a step parent, yeah, if you see something that's obviously wrong, then I think you should maybe voice your opinion, but trying to be the main one putting down discipline, it's not your child.
Mhm.
It's not. It's just you just gotta own up to that. You gotta you gotta have enough common
Hmm.
sense to know that it's not your child, buddy.
Yeah.
Support system. When I say support, you gotta have the biological parent support. The biological parent can't just be like, well, you you the adult. That's your relationship. Like what? Like, come on, you gotta the biological parent has got to be in there saying this will make me feel. You can't be the biological parent and just be chilling like, yeah, y'all get along. The support of the biological parent, and I mean, if they're grandparent or other people around, is important. What do you think about that?
That you're right. That is very important. If the biological parent don't show the stepfather or stepmother whatever support, then that person is gonna be like kind of
Yes.
seeming like damn, like why do I need to even try to show this person any type of support when the own actual father or mother don't really support them. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely have to have some type of backbone in a household where the biological parent is making you feel comfortable enough to be there around their child and willing to even have a voice in the whole step parenting role.
Man, I can't hear nothing, dude. Like the volume went out.
You can't hear me?
I can't even hear you no more.
Hey, I hear you good.
Hold on. The next one I got on my list is navigating co-parenting. So, how do you deal with the ex? In a perfect world, the ex is cool. A lot of times he's not cool. So, how do you dealing with the ex when he's not cool? Like when he's not accepting. That's a whole nother podcast, really. But we just gonna hit it, real hit quick right here. How do you deal with co-parenting with the ex, even when he's not on board? What's your advice for that? Because if he's cool, it's really nothing to talk about. But if he's not, what's your advice?
That's a tough one. I've never experienced it, but I've heard of situations where no matter what you do, no matter how nice you are to this guy's son or daughter, no matter how much of a gentleman you are, this person just still don't want to act right. He just don't want to accept it. A lot of the times, the ex is only there to try to get back with the mother anyway. Like, the kid is there, okay, cool, but they
Right.
basically calling to talk to the mama. Basically, let's just call a
Right.
spade, right? So, um, man, that's tough. The only thing I can say is to just remain true to yourself,
Yep.
and just keep repeating to him that you're not there to do this his son or daughter no harm. You just there to support his mother, and and the child is there, and we ain't gotta be friends or nothing like that, but you do have to let that person know that you're not going nowhere. Like, you can't let this dude scare you away or none of that. You just gotta, stand your ground first and foremost. But just stay true to yourself, keep being respectful and whatnot. And if he come around a day and change his tune, then so be it. But I hate to say that you gotta deal with it, because you really don't. You always got the option to leave, but then he's going to win because he forced you away. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
you just gotta keep doing what you're doing, man, and remain the person that you are. That's pretty much all you can do.
I mean, I agree. I agree totally. You don't want to let this guy get you out of your, play you out of position where it start getting physical or so you angry with me. What you want me to do? I'm being respectful to your I'm with your lady ex. I don't need to meet him. it might be different. I don't need to meet you. We're gonna look each other in the eye and hey, ain't gonna be no foolishness. The father, the biological father isn't around. You get the wrong kind of guy in there and he starts doing a lot of stuff that he shouldn't be doing. You do need to make your presence known as a father. The best way, man, is if you can get along with each other.
That's all.
That all that other stuff, man. Folks got no problem as it is. Don't just try to get along with the dude, man. You not with the woman no more, or you know, so just because you hurting your kids if it's fighting going on and all. Your kids don't want to see that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So just chill out, bro. Just go find somebody else.
Right. Right.
the the X effect, dealing with that's navigating co-parenting, that dealing with the X. What's another one, an important one? I think it's time, man. You just to give like some real life testimonies, like it's we dropping gems, but what's some like real life testimony that's something you can say about being a co-parent right now and in the past, something you learned about being just a co-parent. I mean, step parent.
Well, what I learned recently, and that I'm currently in right now, is my main thing was, I had to show this child that I cared about him. Being in the house, interacting with the mother, and sitting at a totally different table doing dinner and all that. Like, you got to show the child that you actually care. Um, of course, we already touched on talking to the child. The most important thing outside of showing them that you care is you got to find a hobby that person likes, and you can start to like as well. You have to do stuff with him or her that she or he is into. Take the time to learn about what they're into, and I think we covered this on another podcast. But be influential in that person's life. That way, that person can learn to respect you. He or she will learn to open up to you more. They'll want to talk to you about different things because you're knowledgeable about what they're going through. If they like a different type of music, like in my case, my stepson likes Korean rap, and I've never heard of that until I got involved with this child. So I took it upon
Mm-hmm.
myself to research several different K-pop groups and artists and stuff like that. So now we have these conversations. Now he's
Right.
familiar with it. Now I can bring it up like, yo, so when is so and so coming to town? And I know the artist's name, and we listen to some of their music while we chilling at the house and whatnot. So now we got a good rapport because I took it upon myself to learn some of the things that he liked to do versus not just sitting at home and interacting with the mother and watching TV and eating together and all that. You got to actually take the time out to interact with this child on some one-on-one basis.
Exactly. You said you wanted to be in this woman's life, and she got a child, so you need to try to be in the child's life too. I think that's a good example of what your role as a step parent. Only thing you can control is what you need to do. Most of the time, that's going to be enough. Because, like you said, nobody's going to. No, you can't build a relationship with anybody if they don't think you care about them. You just gonna come in somebody's house telling them what to do. You know what I mean? Then a young person needs to know that okay, dude's cool. It's possible that if people do it, they care about the mother, but they don't care about. You know what I mean? So you don't
True.
want to be seen like that. You
Very
don't,
true.
and kids pick up on that, especially
Yep.
a young man and his mother. Oh, you know
Mhm.
what I mean? He do stuff with my mom's, but he don't be thinking about me. You can't do
Very
that,
true,
brother.
my brother.
Yeah. No matter what, you gotta keep you gotta try to stay positive in the the relationship that you are trying to build with this child. It's a marathon. It's not going y'all not gonna be like this right away. It's a marathon. You're not this child's parent. So just put yourself in their shoes. To get out of your feelings, put yourself in their shoes and see, how this person coming into the house. If they're a good kid, be thankful, man, because you could go into a house where that kid don't want your ass there, and they will do anything to get rid of you, dog.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? So if that kid is a good kid and is giving you a chance, man, don't mess it up. That's all we saying, man.
Just show the child that you care. Show that kid that you appreciate them for the great things that they're doing, and just try to be the best step parent that you can be. That's pretty much all you can do.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree. I second that, man. Tell tell if you got step kids out there, man, I don't even care how old they are. And they been solid with you. They've been, you ain't never had no fights or arguments or nothing. Man, tell them, man, you appreciate them, man. You appreciate them. And hell, you love them, for just giving you a chance and not making your life miserable, you know what I mean? Because they didn't have to. They didn't have to. They didn't have to, dog. That could have went all the way the other way. And the woman you love, or she you don't want to put her in the middle of that. She don't need to be in the middle of that. So if you got and they've been solid, tell them, man, you appreciate them. Do something nice for them. Whatever you can do, just be a solid dude for now and in the future. So
So,
that was this episode of Raising Carter Podcast. If you got any value from this episode, check out some of our other episodes. And we are out of here.
peace, my
Peace,
brother.
peace, brother. Thanks.